Welcome back to the Father of the Man podcast. Today is kind of a fun day. It's a bit of a game, if you will.
It is extremely fun.
It is. Yeah. Today we talk about games. Talk about playing games with your kids playing games with each other. Mm-hmm. Thoughts about that, recommendations, some of the psychology behind it, some of the deep philosophy.
We got different games. We got board games, video games.
Yeah, we talk about that.
Roughhousing games.
Yeah, outdoor games. We talk
Hunger Games.
Talk about sports for like 10 seconds. There was a lot of games.
That's appropriate. Man.
So, come play with us today.
You had me at play.
The man of independent mind. He looks and laughs at
All right, today we're discussing games.
Ooh.
All kinds of games, I guess. We're going to see where this goes.
What kind of games?
So here's what prompted this.
What kinds of games?
You know what? Honestly, pause real quick. I think before we get into games, we need to address the elephant in the room, or the caterpillar that's no longer in the room.
Oh.
And that is your mustache is gone.
Okay.
What happened?
You noticed.
Of course. You look amazing.
Well,
you look good.
As the days grow longer and the warm air of the sun gets hotter.
Yeah.
As it gets hotter, as we approach summer,
Very polite.
the mustache tends to retreat. And so it's just climbed back inside.
You retracted it.
It's a retractable mustache for warm work because I'm a day laborer now. So
Sweaty upper lip.
Sweaty upper lip. Yep. So
Got
it just keeps that old lip sweater in mothballs, as it were.
That's awesome, dude.
So-
Well, you look good with or without it, I must say. Good job.
Thank you.
I do miss it, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way things are.
You know, it was a birthday present for my wife.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's a good reason.
She actually really likes the mustache,
Yeah.
but she also really likes not the mustache.
Yeah. Well, hey, women
So
like what they like.
yeah,
That's what I always say.
So I said, hey, you know what? Summer's already here almost, so I'll let it climb back in.
All right. Well, now that we've dealt with that, let's get into games. What started this idea for this podcast? I don't know if she wants us to shout her out or not, but I'm going to shout out Rachel Calabaugh for bringing up this topic.
Yeah, we can just beep that later.
Yeah, we could just beep it out. It could just be like, a shout out to beep, whatever. We'll see.
Rachel Calabaugh.
Yeah, exactly. It rhymes with Schmachel Schmalabaugh.
Yeah.
And she brought up like a podcast idea of talking about game suggestions, thoughts on games for she has some young sons and all that. So we're going to talk about games, and I think we can go in a few directions with this. And the first one I would go in is board games. So that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of games. There's
Emphasis on board.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Hot take. So my whole thought on so what go
Question.
yeah.
We're talking about games. Mm-hmm. Why are we talking about games?
Yeah. Okay. Great. You want me to just?
Well, yeah, because I have no notes.
Okay. Cool.
So-
All right. I have a few thoughts. I think games are more important when in terms of raising sons and daughters, but in terms of raising kids, I think games are underestimated in their importance.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that Jordan Peterson actually has a lot of really cool stuff on this, and so I'm probably going to be like kind of bastardizing his stuff. So this is my version.
He didn't come up with it either.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know. Okay. So that said, I think just the idea that it's a really cool way of practicing temporary social contracts.
Okay.
So the idea that you're all agreeing to a set of rules, and you can agree to change that set of rules together or whatever, but you're agreeing to a general set of expectations, and you're trying to compete within that set of expectations. That sets up a really cool thing where essentially you are trying to win, you want to be competitive and play, but you also want to play in such a way that would make people want to play with you again in the future, right?
Well, and that would make the game itself enjoyable for yourself.
Exactly. Make it more enjoyable for yourself, and it makes it more enjoyable for the other person, right?
So, in essence, we're talking about games because it applies to raising our sons in a non-anarchical frame of mind.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, you did say that, so
I just did.
yeah, I like it.
I can say whatever I want.
That's why you're
I
here.
almost went for it, but I decided not to.
Yeah. Slow down. So that's part of it. I think it's fun and it's a cool way to bond with your kids. That's the simple answer. It's just fun and it's cool. to do. Then it's also encourages for my son. I know it was and daughters. It's been an encouragement to develop reading skills because a lot of games require reading. So it's kind of a motivating thing for them to be able to participate on a deeper level with different, specifically board games.
Yeah.
Because they require reading at different levels and different understandings of different concepts. And so it's kind of, they're good for teaching all kinds of different ideas.
Yeah. Math is a big one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Math,
Yep.
reading, lots of different things come up when you're playing these games. And you can get, as I'm sure a lot of people know, you can get in some of these games get punishingly intricate. I think is the term.
Like Warhammer.
Yeah, they get like brutally complicated to the point where it's like that Babylon Bee headline where it says like man unsure whether to go back to college for his PhD or just learn another board game.
Yeah,
And it can get that deep and crazy, and so whatever, to each their own on that. But regardless, it's a fun way to encourage progress and education.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one thing.
Progress, education, interaction with others.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a mini picture of real world challenges and
Exactly.
contracts and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And I would, so on that note, since we're talking about the social contract part of it, I think it's a really, I'll just kind of share my personal philosophy and where I'm at with it and what I want to teach my kids through it. And so what the big thing, I think there's kind of the ditch on both sides of the road kind of thing of, I think if you take games as way too seriously, right? That's one risk, right? Where you're where you're unhealthily. Yeah, nice, good one.
It's a pun.
Yeah, I know you don't have a monopoly on puns. Chill out.
We just breezed past it, and I wanted to point it out.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Appreciate that. No, that was important. Thank you.
Monopoly.
Anyway, yeah. So you can get too competitive to the point where you're like just being a rude, obnoxious person, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing in such a way that nobody wants to play with you in the future.
Right.
And that would be, I would describe, I guess, as like overly competitive, possibly, or more accurately, I think it's just being egotistical, rude, belligerent,
obsessive,
bullyish, whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that you could go wrong on that end. And then on the other end, I've observed that there's those who, because they are so agreeable and do want peace so much, they'll just not try. Like it's almost like a badge of honor to like, just like, hey, we're just here to have fun. We're just here to have fun. We're just here to have fun. To the point where they're not even competing, which is not fun. Like the point is you're trying to win, and you're trying to compete, and you're trying to get, that's where
there's a purpose to it. This ain't Candyland.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not just picking up little cards with little colors on them.
Although there are rules in that.
There are. Yes, there are. There's no skills in that, but there are rules in that.
It's true.
So you have the overly competitive mean side, and then you have the under competitive, ultra passive, like the only way we're going to have fun is if we have absolute peace at all times. And I think good gameplay is a cool way for kids to navigate that balance, because obviously those things come up in life, right?
Yeah.
In business and in jobs and all kinds of different things, in personal relationships. You have this idea of, I think games when taught correctly and when played well, and when you have a good family culture around it, I think they lend toward healthy conflict.
Totally.
Right? Because it's like you're learning how to have these little miniature arguments or these little miniature conflicts.
Right.
But you're able to put it in the context of what it is and not overstep that. And that's what you're shooting for anyway, right? Yeah. Because you want to win, but you also want people to want to play with you.
And it's a really easy way to get kids involved in that learning process. Like I've been going through Orthodoxy again. I was telling you about the G.K. Chesterton's book. And one of his biggest proofs of the existence of God comes in the balance that he finds in Christianity, which is like, it's not... So there's like two extremes, like fascism and extreme anarchy.
Yeah.
He's like, both of those are horrible for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But it's not that Christianity is just this, it just falls right in the middle of the two, and there's a little fascism, a little, anarchy. It's something else entirely, where it's there is something that's been set in place, and if we can figure out what that is, the rules to the game, then we can start to progress in a meaningful way in our lives. But without that, then you're going to always tend toward one side or the other of this extreme. Like you're talking about with the games, fascism is the guy that's running the game like Hitler,
right,
like super extreme and obnoxious, and then the other side of it is just total anarchy, where it's like, well, whatever, maybe I'll cheat on this one so that I can win, or just totally disregarding the framework that's been set up. So it's a really easy way to teach kids frameworks and like, hey, this is the real world, and it's a funny enough way to show hey, maybe there is design behind everything, including board games.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really good. Way to make it really deep. That was great. Yeah.
That's all I've been thinking about lately.
That's awesome, too. I was just thinking about board games, apparently. So,
well, I felt like I needed to say something.
Yeah, no.
I feel like you're carrying the burden on this one. So,
well, it was a great contribution.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no. So I think that is kind of just a general framework for, why I think games are really productive and helpful in addition to being fun and relaxing. And I mean, I think most people can relate who have played board games with groups of people. Like I think most people have seen both of these things, right? Like the person that's on their phone, disengaged in the game, not really participating, not really trying, just kind of like, meh, and they're like, okay, that person's not fun to play with. And then you obviously have, and I have been this person. I've been both people, I think, but like where you're like, where you're like, yeah, you've seen it, where you're like way too competitive and it starts to get like personal and you're like mad and you get in these fights or whatever. And I think that games are a good, like, isolated, I don't know, little bubble to work those things out in, right?
Yeah.
And it can kind of reveal where you need to grow. So I think they're practice for all kinds of healthy different relationship situations, if you will.
Healthy different relationship.
Yeah. So that's board games, and I think that would include, I mean, sports are games, right? So that would include physical games, yard games, anything like that. Anytime there's a competition, there's a stated goal, there's stated rules, and you're trying to win within that framework.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then, in addition to that, I was going to throw out there, I have another thing to say, and I'm just talking. I'm sorry. Can I keep going?
Dude, my brain is so empty right now.
All
just fill it up, dude.
All right, dude. Okay. So here, to continue the sermon on games, what I would add as a mindset thing in addition to that is this is something I've latched onto that has been really great for our family, and that is when I'm playing games with my kids, frequently I have an advantage because I'm older than them.
Smarter. I
don't know about that. Well. But, year for year, I'm not sure. But
proportionally, maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. But I've obviously, as a dad, you're going to have an advantage over your 10-year-old, 11-year-old son, right? So it's interesting because when you're playing, so within that framework of like wanting them to continue to play with you and wanting good competition, like it's really easy to err on the side of like just kind of either letting them win,
right?
And they know that, though, they're like super sensitive to that, and it's super unrewarding for them, and it's super just kind of like, all right, why are we even doing this?
It doesn't teach them anything,
right? Because you're erring on that. You're erring on that passive side for a good reason, because you're like trying not to be a jerk to your kids, right? But it kind of wrecks the game.
Totally, yeah.
Or you could do the whole, like, I'm going to try my hardest and every time and just beat them into the dirt, right? Like, I'm going to smoke these kids at this, right? So it's like, so what do you do? It's like, do I give full effort and just demoralize them because I'm demolishing them at something? Or do I only play games that were more evenly matched on, that they, or whatever? Or, how do you do it? So I'm a big fan of the handicap. So the idea is trying to find creative ways in the rules to handicap yourself so that you can give full effort and it's still a competition. So, and it works really well because even though they know you're having a handicap, like they understand that, obviously.
Yeah.
But but I think we've experienced more of a satisfaction, and when they win, even though I have a handicap, it's still, they know I was trying. And so it simulates that real competition. So it's more fun for me.
Well,
too.
It's at the outset, it's saying, okay, yes, this game has a stated goal and
Right.
purpose. We're still moving toward that purpose, but here's some parameters on it.
Right.
So, and that's with any game, whether you put a handicap or not. If you explain the parameters and they win according to the parameters, they're satisfied.
Right.
So if one of the parameters is, oh yeah, by the way, I only get half points when I score or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they automatically, they're not thinking, oh, he's giving me an easy out. They're like, oh, this is what we established in the beginning before we even agreed to play. So,
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's smart.
And that's a huge point to bring up too, is that it's that pre-agreement that really cements it. Because it's like, it's a temporary social contract. So it's like, these are the terms of the contract. I have these rules, you have these rules, and we're going,
But the difference is, not changing. Like, you don't change the rules halfway through the game, because that's where it's like, this is not what we agreed on. Like, like if I'm smoking one of the kids at cribbage, and I'm like, okay, from now on, I don't get to use any fives or whatever.
Right.
like halfway through the game, then they'll be like, oh,
yeah,
you know.
kinda,
But
yeah.
if before I'm like, hey, I'm not going to use any 5s, they'll be like, sweet, then
that's the game we're
That's
playing.
the game. You
Yeah.
can't change the rules of the game after it's started. You can
Yeah.
change them before though.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would, since we're talking about like general guidelines and rules here, I would throw out there that a big thing I've insisted on with my kids is that if you agree to play a game with somebody, you have to finish it. Because
Yes.
it's really tempting to, because it's more fun to win than lose, like usually, like I'd say.
Almost always, yeah.
So if you're getting stomped, right, and especially if it's by a younger sibling or whatever,
yeah.
like if you're getting demolished, it's really easy to just like want to give up. Be like, all right, dude, whatever, you win.
Like
You
I'm
know?
done. Yeah. Let's,
And I get that, but you're robbing them of the satisfaction of their win, and they've earned it. So
Well, you're not only robbing them of the satisfaction you earn, you're backing away from your word, which is entering a contract.
right,
which
yeah,
is-
exactly. Like
Yeah, we have the same rule where it's
Yeah.
like if one of the kids is, you know, they play that, war.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I hate that game.
Well, it's pretty.
It's a great way to
it's
keep
pretty
kids
skillless.
occupied for
It's
a
pretty
long time.
skillless.
Yeah.
I mean, it is entirely skillless.
It is. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
game it. I mean, you can, then it's just cheating. But
Right.
but it's funny because even with that, like the kids I'll tell them, they're like, hey, let's play war. You know, the two of the kids want to play war, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, all right, if you start though, you got to finish, and it's can be a very very long game.
Yeah, it can.
But you know, sometimes the one kid will have like 50 cards and the other has 2, and he's barely hanging in there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, I'm over it. You win. It's like, not until all those cards are gone, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
either win them all over or give them away, but you're not just going to walk away from what you agreed to.
Right.
Like, so,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I
Exactly.
think that's a healthy rule.
Yeah, and it just encourages not being a quitter, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
when things aren't going your way. It's like, well, I said I'd do it. I'm going to do it, and it might be a grind, but you have the best attitude you can, and you finish the game because you're blessing the other person. You're being like, all right, you earned this victory. I'll see it through.
And it also teaches perseverance against all odds.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing.
Well,
Just
that-
because you
yeah.
look like, oh, dude, there's no way I'm going to win this.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean you can't win it still.
That's it, dude. It sets up epic comebacks, and those are that's like the most satisfying thing, right? When
Yep.
you're like, dude, I can't believe I came back from that.
I had a cribbage game with Henry recently where he was behind like 30 points, which is like a ton. Like,
Yeah.
And you look at it, you're like, there's no way he's catching up. And then he did. He just happened to get like a bunch of really good hands,
Yeah.
and he ended up winning by like 2 points.
No way,
And he
that's
was
awesome.
like, he like teared up, dude. He was like, oh, I can't
Yeah,
believe
see what I mean? Like, that's such a good feeling.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what a cool lesson too, right? Because it's like
Yep.
you get that whole emotional roller coaster. And
Yeah.
That's a huge high. And either way,
Yep.
there's satisfaction in just not quitting. But then if you come back, that's freaking glorious.
Yeah,
So,
which is very, very applicable to the real world. It's like,
Yes.
dude, there's going to be times in your life where you feel like it's hopeless.
yeah.
And if you give up, then that's what you get. You just
Yeah.
end in hopelessness.
Well, and that's the only way to truly fail, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the whole, the personal development trope of you either win or you learn, right? Is the idea, and that's true if you finish.
Yes.
Right. If you quit, then you are kind of cutting. That's actual failure. Is quitting. So anyway, So what are some games that your kids play with each other that you play with your kids? Like what are we'll keep it. We'll just go board gamey type things or card games, whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they play a lot because I have such a wide age range
Yeah.
that they kind of have to. I mean, a lot of times if a bunch of kids are involved, they're going to be playing, Candyland kind of games,
Sure.
Chutes and Ladders, just kind of.
Yeah.
But I've been focusing on individual games
Yeah.
just to give, especially with me and the kids, just to give them a little more one-on-one
Yeah,
time.
that's cool.
But cribbage right now is the biggest one because it teaches math skills and it also
Yeah.
teaches how to read your opponent because
Yeah.
there's a lot more skill to it than people realize.
Yeah.
And so
It's a classic. That's a timeless game.
it is. Yeah. We feel like
Yeah.
a bunch of geriatrics out there.
Yeah, that's like that's
Yeah.
a really cool old man game.
It's super fun, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring it back.
So we play all the time I play with the 3 older kids, and it's
Yeah.
typically a 2-player game. You can play with more, but it gets lame.
Yeah.
So lately that's kind of been our thing, like almost exclusively cribbage. The kids will play chess with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
that's cool.
And that's a fun one because they really, I tell them they can't change any of the abilities of each
Yeah.
piece. So like they have to do what's in the framework. But yeah, I mean, lately it's just been all cribbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So we play. So the kids, we play a lot with my youngest, with Verity, and the other kids will play a lot of the memory, like we flip over the tiles.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. That's a great one because she can fully participate, and she does pretty dang good,
Mm-hmm.
like surprisingly good. And so that's fun because it can kind of it's very inclusive and still challenging for everybody. Like it's hard for me,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So So that's a good one. I know we've played Risk, and that's been really fun.
Oh.
Verity actually does a pretty dang. Her strategy is attack at all times.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I can relate.
So she's just full on attack in every direction she can.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to have her because it's like a total wild card because you just have this crazy like Genghis Khan child just trying to take over Asia.
Just constantly sabotaging.
Yeah, exactly. And then so that's been really fun. And that one, there's kind of alliances and stuff too, so that's kind of a built-in handicap because they can kind of gang up on me. And it's fun. Risk is a great one. We've played. So there's this game Plunder that I highly recommend.
I can't remember if I played that one.
It looks like it might be. It looks on its face like it might be one of the complicated, like PhD games that you're like, I don't even know if I want to spend the time on reading this book to figure out how to play it. But it's really actually quite simple once you get into it. It's pretty quick to learn.
Is it a pirate game?
You played it, dude. We had a Plunder night. You remember that?
A Plunder party?
Yeah, Jocelyn bought like fake gold coins and stuff, and it was this whole thing. Anyway,
I remember Forbidden
matter.
Island.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember Plunder.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It was a highlight of my life, but I don't mind that you don't remember it. It's not a big deal.
Dude, I have so many good times with you that they all kind of blur together at a certain point.
Killer save. Thank you for that. So no, Plunder is awesome. So it's a pirate themed game, and you basically have pirate ships, and you capture forts and ships. And
dude, I played that game.
Yeah, you upgrade your cannons. See,
yeah,
exactly.
we played together.
Yeah. It was a great time.
Yeah, you got the little ships.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, so that one's really fun because it's pretty quick to learn. The kids understand it fully, but there's a lot of agency, if you will. Like there's a lot of freedom in how you play. So there's a good amount of like strategy and out of the box thinking you can do. And and it's fun to just pretend to be pirates and shoot each other with cannons. It's great.
Pretend.
Yeah, I mean you could. Yeah, wow. You just bring in some BB guns and make it real. Yeah. No, so that's a good one. Plunder, I recommend. I'm just doing game
Clue is a fun one.
Clue is a great one.
Clue, it depends on the parents, proclivities to whether or not they want their kids to be exposed to certain things. Because
it's really murdery.
It's kind of edgy. Like,
it is kind of
it's funny because I was playing, because I grew up playing it and never thought twice about it.
Right.
And then we were all playing, and like Scarlett is playing.
Yeah.
And she, her tiny little 4-year-old cute voice. She's like,
how do you murder someone with a candlestick?
With the candlestick in the study or whatever. And it's like, yeah, he bashed his brains out in the study with it.
Morbid.
Yeah. But we nevertheless we played the game Clue. Yeah.
You're clearly parents who don't mind exposing
this is, I mean, especially as a former law enforcement officer,
right.
I'm just preparing them for the real world.
Right, exactly. Like, dude, people
you got to be able
candlesticking each other in the study.
To look out for the noose in the library,
Amen, brother.
If there's a noose in the library, don't go in there.
Stop bringing up the library. We're basically in one.
No nooses though.
Yeah, thank
We're
goodness.
good.
That's news to me. Okay, so Clue's a good one. I'm just gonna keep doing game recommendations because that's actually what started this whole conversation.
What
are we doing?
I was gonna recommend one.
Okay, go ahead.
Bang.
Oh, that's a great
also
one.
a murdery-ish. It's just cowboy western.
Most good games have murder involved, dude.
I'll just throw out a blanket caveat here that if you have an issue with these games, then that's your thing, and don't do it.
You need to figure that out.
Yeah, but it's like a cowboy western game where you're each a different character, like a western folklore type character, and you have to find out who the deputies are, who the bad guys are, and you're all different things, and you'd have to basically try to kill the sheriff.
Yeah.
It's a really cool, really engaging. My kids play it by themselves.
Yeah.
And they do it right, which is it's kind of hard to get into a little bit. Like it takes a while to learn it, but then once you're rolling, I mean, I have like 6-year-olds playing it.
Yeah, it's not super advanced.
No,
and it's it's almost like that game, another murder game, Mafia, where it's just like a social game where you sit around in a circle and figure all that stuff out. It's like that, but kind of honestly a bit more fun because they build some framework in there that makes it a little bit more challenging.
Yep.
And it's Western themed, which is fun. So if you're the sheriff, you're trying to get the outlaws, and outlaws are trying to get the sheriff. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then the renegade is just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, that's a classic. Bang is great.
Yeah, Bang is a good one.
I was gonna say, no, I missed it. What was it?
Where my homeschoolers at? Settlers of Catan.
Oh yeah. See, I mean, do you like Settlers of Catan?
Not really.
Okay, I was gonna say
I know a lot of people do though.
Yeah, and people get really into it, and I respect it.
It's good to teach I think it teaches perseverance because it's a long game.
Yeah.
I think it teaches, resource management, which is kind of fun.
Sure.
My first experience with it was horrible.
Yeah.
A girl wanted to go to a coffee shop and play years ago before I was married. And I was like, let's do that. And so we went and played, and I can't remember, there was a certain rule that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
That she totally exploited to win like super fast. And she's
man.
like, yeah, you didn't know that. And I was like, well, you're teaching me to
the
play
game.
this game, and then you totally just like steamrolled me. And I was like, I hate this game.
That's so emasculating.
But I've played it since then, and it's,
Yeah.
if you like collecting wheat and logs, it's a great game.
Well, that does sound oddly appealing to me. But I'm glad you didn't settle for the Catan player. You like it?
I do, Catan player.
The girl, you didn't settle for her. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
settle.
Yeah, come on,
dude.
man.
I'm a little slow today.
Okay,
You know
dude.
this.
God,
I don't have my coffee. You didn't give me my coffee.
It was a bad joke, but like something. Give
No,
me
it was
something.
it was a good joke.
Oh, thanks.
A gooder than bad.
Thanks, man.
However, I was too slow to get it.
It's
So
fine.
that's not
Whatever.
on you, dude.
Let's just move on.
It's my fault.
Okay, so there's Catan. Speaking of making up rules to games that are like changing the rules of the game before the game and then and playing it in an alternative way, like house rules type stuff.
Yes.
Which I think is great.
Yep.
The whole key to that, like we talked about, is like do it at the beginning and then everybody knows what we're doing.
Yep.
And one of those, I'll just shout out Cody King. Dude, homie and his brother.
Shout out Cody.
Shout out Cody. He and his brother, I think, came up with a mod to Settlers of Catan that is fantastic. And this might be offensive to some people because they call it Settlers of Hiroshima, which is a little bit like historically, rough. But
why?
Because it involves nukes. Okay? But
You can nuke each
yes,
other?
it's awesome. So they figured out a way to make it more murdery, which obviously, as we've established, makes it more fun.
That's what it was missing the whole time.
Right, exactly. But they it's awesome because you can go on the offense and you can like blow up people's settlements and stuff. And so but nukes are they did a great job designing the rules because it's really hard to get a nuke. And so you have to invest a lot of non-building time to do it. So you have to kind of weigh out the cost. It's not like you can just nuke each other.
So you build a nuke the same way you'd like build a road.
Right. So there's a
Oh.
cost to it. It's just like an added thing as a nuke, and then it has a certain area that it destroys.
That's a great idea.
And so it's cool because you can set your you can pivot and go, oh shoot, he's getting ahead of me. I'm gonna like try and, or if you see they're building in like a high concentration area, you can be like, okay, I'm gonna like take that out
so I can get the resource.
Yeah, and then there's a separate island that you can actually like, so you start with one thing on each island, so that way, anyway, I'm getting in the weeds here, but you get the idea. You could have, what I did that worked really great, it was really fun, is I nuked everybody else off of that entire island. So I literally had my own island.
Nice.
Because I like cleared them off and there's no way to get back over. Anyway,
Wow.
that's fun.
That was a good aside.
Wow, sorry. Man.
So, and there's all sorts of expansion packs on that game too.
Oh, there are.
Not being a huge fan of the game, but still like, it could be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I saw at a game store, the one at Black Sheep the other day.
Yeah.
They had Space Catan, and I was
Ooh.
like, that alone, I think you get like different
Yeah, it's
planets
kinda
and stuff.
fresh.
I was like,
Different
I could dig it.
resources.
Yeah.
You can get carbon or something.
Well, you can get that here.
Yeah, well, for some reason, space games always have carbon. Like, it's unique.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even though it's like the building block of everything.
Exactly. Like, come up with a fake resource for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
like Blaupunkt 4x1 or something.
Yeah, unobtainium. Remember that from Avatar?
Is that what they call
Yes,
it? Dude, I hate those
dude,
movies.
Those movies are such trash. It's so funny. Anyway, we need to
Unobtainium.
do a movie review on Avatar and why it's ridiculous.
Are we blurry?
No, we're blurry in real life, dude.
Oh,
That's just that's how you look.
couple of big feet over here.
Exactly. Yeah, no, unobtainium. So
That
on the
is
nose.
so-
It is it's pathetic. Anyway,
Like adamantium. Although adamantium's real.
That's better. No, it's not. It is?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I have it in my hands.
No, you don't. Oh my gosh. So that's a good one. Dominion is one that's actually really fun.
I don't know that I've played it. I've
So,
seen you.
yeah.
Is that the thing that I got nightly for like his
Exactly, yeah.
working for me or whatever he
Yeah,
did? What is he?
exactly. Yeah, so that has a million expansions too. The cool thing with that, what I'll say positive about that is that it's a very low threshold to learn the basics of the game.
Okay.
So you can get up and playing in 10 minutes. Like, it's not that complicated to get started, but it's really cool. It's a good long-term investment because you can you can always it stays super fresh because you're always playing with different decks basically.
Yeah.
So and the different combinations affect each other differently. So you kind of have this infinite amount of possibilities of how it actually plays out, but you're always trying to do the same thing. So it's a deck building game, which is, you know, scary for a lot of people because a lot of deck building games are like deep nerd stuff. Like, you know, there's all these ones where you know, if you go into like a serious board game store and you go in the back room,
it's overwhelming, dude.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's quite the thing. And you know, shout out to people who are into that. That's fine. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But that's a whole thing. That's like a whole hobby, right? This is like that light, right? Like it's a really accessible, really
more
fun.
Involved, but like easier to
so there's a lot of room for strategy, but you're not doing a ton of heavy lifting on the rules, on the manual. You know, like you can figure it out pretty quick, and it's pretty intuitive. So that's a really fun one. Stays fresh a long time. Pretty accessible for younger kids. Knightley's been playing it since he was like 7. He's pretty quick though, I will say, like, not to brag, but he does pick up on stuff pretty quick.
He's good
like
at games,
that. Yeah. So you know, he might be a little slightly prodigious about that, but
I think you can brag about your son.
Okay, I mean, I know, I'm just, you know, I'm trying, I'm not, yeah, I don't mind bragging about my son. I'm just saying, I'm trying to give like an honest review on how young kids should get into
I
it.
see.
That's all I'm
yeah,
trying to say.
So you're saying
I'm like,
this might not be normal.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have a dumb kid or something, you might not be able to figure it out. No, you get what I mean. Like, younger kids can get into it, and it's pretty fun. And Cadence too. Shout out Cadence. She's like,
we'll have to try that one. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So, so Dominion's a great one.
You know what doesn't have long shelf life is Kerplunk.
Kerplunk?
You ever play that as a kid?
I've never played Kerplunk.
It's you'll know it. It's like a clear cylinder that has a bunch of marbles in it, and then a bunch of sticks holding them.
It's like, so it's almost like Jenga with marbles.
It's like Jenga and pickup sticks kind of mixed.
Okay.
So you pull the sticks out, and then if any marbles fall, you collect them, and whoever has the most marbles loses. And so you're trying to like strategically. Anyway, we got at Costco. We bought this Kerplunk set that is ridiculous. It's like 5 feet tall.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I saw it at your house.
And so it's got like the McDonald's ball pit balls in it.
Massive.
And these giant sticks. And it's like fun and novel. And it's like, oh, look at this Kerplunk. It'll, hours of family fun.
Right.
I think our kids have played it twice in like 5 months. and then they're just throwing the balls at each other now. So it's like, I don't recommend Kerplunk is all I'm trying to say.
Turns into Kersmack really fast.
And just,
Yeah.
Kerdum.
Yeah. Well, and so this is a good time to bring up and we'll probably get back into game recommendations because they'll just kind of flow out of us,
Yeah.
But on that note, there's also this thing of evaluating games in terms of games of chance versus games of skill.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so, and then some games obviously are a medley of the two. I do try to trend toward, with my kids, like encouraging them toward skill games for the reasons we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Like, because those are the ones that are like actually, they're involving strategy. They're involving, you can actually have, they give you a better sense of competition. The more it goes toward the games of chance side, like we kind of talked about Chutes and Ladders or Candyland or whatever, or War, like those are going to be more like, it's just, you're kind of watching what happens.
The victory is supposed to instill confidence, and that's a huge reason we like to play games is to give them the confidence that you can like I don't want my kids, like, we're signing the boys up for wrestling this year.
Oh cool. I didn't know that.
Stoked about it. But I don't want them to go into wrestling thinking all the other kids are going to beat us, and I don't want to give them a false sense of confidence with chance games where they're just constantly, if they win, it's like, I won, but then they're like, I didn't really do anything. So am I actually capable of doing something victorious, or is it just luck?
Yep.
So that's why we tend to we do the same thing where we trend toward the skill games because I want them to like go into any challenge game situation where they can be like, I got this. Like,
well, and exactly, and it builds confidence and also just builds like engagement, right? Because they're like, okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna actually like. Again, I guess agency is a word that gets used in weird ways, but that idea of like you have agency and you have this idea of you're in the driver's seat to some extent. Like what you think and do and your decisions matter, right? Anyway, whereas and chance games, nothing against chance games, but they are more just on the side of like I'd put them in the category of just like they're good for, I think, like icebreaker social lubricant games of like, hey, we're hanging out and talking and we're seeing what happens with this
thing. You don't really have to think much.
Right. But it's not really a competition per se. Okay. Another recommendation. Well, you already mentioned it, but I highly recommend chess. Chess is like my favorite game of all time. It is phenomenal one-on-one time with your kids. It's it's obviously time honored. It's been around forever, and it's very, very smart game. Like you can play and play and play and still be very bad at it, like I did. But it's extremely satisfying when you win. It's very, I don't know, it has a lot of depth to it. Very simple to learn. So that's a really easy access game. That has a infinite depth to it, right? Like you can go and go and go with it.
Yeah, and that one, like the only chance in that game is introduced by yourself if you're not thinking about your strategy. If you just throw stuff out there and just say, okay, I'm going to move this here, see what happens, then that's where you start to see chance take its course, and then you're like, oh crap, like that's not working. Like,
no, for sure. That game is almost pure skill.
It's very hard.
And so that's I highly recommend that. My kids play chess with each other. I play chess with them, and that's been great.
That's great. I got another one.
Okay,
Codenames.
Oh, that's a great game.
Great game. Codenames. We don't even have to describe it. Just get the game and play it. It's so simple.
Yeah. So that's a good. It's good for large or small groups, which is nice, and it's good for social skills and cues and problem solving and like connecting dots, like critical thinking stuff.
Vocabulary association, reading people. Like it's got it all.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Codenames is great.
Yep.
Trying to think what else. I think that's. I don't know. We can say more if they come to mind.
Yeah.
Yard game type stuff, like outdoor games, not necessarily sports. Sports are pretty obvious. If you played sports and you want to get your kid in sports, I mean, I don't know how much I have to add to that conversation. We already know how terrible my opinions are on sports.
I mean, I think it kind of goes, it's a bigger blown up picture of like board games. It's like, hey, this is, you're learning how to interact with other people and do teamwork specifically. That is one actually good distinction, because with most games that you're playing inside, they're not team worky.
A lot of them are not.
I mean, some of them are. Well, Codenames is. But like a lot of the games we're playing, one person wins.
Right.
And so that's the cool thing about sports is everyone wins if you work together, and it teaches some good life lessons.
And you have an additional impetus to not quit and not give up, because you're thinking of your teammates, and so it's not just about you and your personal development. It's about you're serving your team by being the best you can be. So there's additional pressure and additional reward, and it's good. So sports are great.
Sports are they're healthy.
But I'm not gonna sit here and like recommend sports, because I just don't have I'm just not an expert on that.
It's just,
and people are gonna want to do what they want to do.
It's expensive, and you gotta like if I got all my kids into like baseball, oh my gosh, that'd
be your life.
Like 3 games a week per kid.
I think that, and
like you just never stop driving.
And that's the risk, I think, is that it can be all consuming, right? So figure that out for yourselves. As far as like yard gamey type stuff, games play outside. Do you so?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. What do you got?
Spike ball, man.
Dude, spike ball's the best.
I've never had a bad time playing spike ball.
Dude, spike ball is a joy. If you guys haven't played spike ball, you need to get it. It's a cheap thing to buy. You can buy it at like Big Five or whatever sporting goods store.
Like if you like volleyball and ping pong married into a weird little amalgam, that's
better. It's like better.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather play spike ball than either of those.
It's like the best things about both of those things combined.
Yeah, totally. And it again, really easy access. Like you can figure out how to play and get like moderately sufficient at it pretty quick, but then you can get really good at it.
Oh yeah.
So that's a great one. Good recommendation.
And you can play that indoors too.
We
used to do that at my old place in Bend.
That was semi-successful.
A lot of holes in the drywall.
For lots of reasons. So that's good. I highly recommend, especially with young boys, like, dude, just throwing tomahawks is a blast. Like, and you can make games out of that. Like, you can compete with that, but like throwing tomahawks, like any sort of accuracy games, blow darts. Obviously, guns are fun.
Shooting is fun.
Age appropriate to your skill level and comfort level with that. But tomahawks are great. Throwing knives, that kind of thing. That's just a good time. One thing I like about outside games is I love watching what games my kids come up with on their own. And I think one of the, like, some of the best games are the ones you invent together. That are based off of like a limited amount of resources. So like going to the store and buying a game with its own rules is great, and that's fun. But like there's just something golden about like we invented this game where we have this board and a log and we're seeing how long we can balance on it or whatever. Like just like the simplest things. And I know there's been a boredom. This is a side note, but boredom is fantastic for this. like getting your kids outside and bored for a long enough time that they figure out something to do is just the greatest.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're out there with them, same, like you can figure out something to do with them, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think that's a huge, like, as far as outside games go, like limited resources and having to use creativity to come up with something that's a fun competition. And then you can kind of, yeah, like I said before, you can handicap yourself and try and play with them. And that's just unlimited. So
we do for years now. We've been doing time challenges.
yeah.
And the kids, every time we go to any park, or even if we're just hanging out in the backyard, they always ask, "Hey, we do time challenges."
Yeah.
And it's basically, I use the timer on my phone, and I just line out some obstacle course.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, go do this, and we'll see who does it the fastest.
Yep.
And they all have to play by the same rules, have to do all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And it's super cute when the littles do it because they don't know how to do push-ups or whatever, so they're just like trying, like fumbling their way through. But that's a really fun one. Like just. Yeah, like you said, you can get pretty creative if you're just out there.
Yeah.
And you just see, like, our backyard, we got like a trampoline.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so run around the trampoline 10 times, then do a front flip on the trampoline, and then come off the trampoline, do 10 jump squats, and then run and high five me.
Yeah.
See who does that the fastest, that kind of thing. And they'll go for hours doing that.
So into that stuff. And it's so simple. And so, like, just a little bit of boredom and a little bit of creativity goes a really long way. And you can find stuff, that'll last your kids hours that's super physical or or mentally engaging, and it's just awesome. So that's great. We used to do it all the time. That was like our big thing at parks, was a similar thing.
Yeah, nice.
It's just you come up with an obstacle course at the park, and that's a fun one for me because that's natural. I'm naturally handicapped where like, because a lot of it, it's almost like it was built for children or something. I don't know why. I don't know why playgrounds are so small. But
those little tunnels you have to crawl through.
Yeah, exactly. It's like harder for bigger people anyway. So it's like, this is great.
Yeah, it slows you down.
It's a pretty good competition. So yeah, those are great ideas.
Also great for, like, if your kids are just wired and you're like, dude, we're getting close to bedtime.
Yeah.
Man, you just throw them a couple. Like the other day, we were at the park, and it was like 7:30, and they want to do time challenges. I was like, all right, run around this thing 3 times, and this is huge track.
Yeah.
Like, run around it 3 times, 50 push-ups, 20 jump squats.
Yeah.
Each kid took it was like 7 minutes or something. It was like brutal.
Yeah.
And they're sprinting the whole time, and like by the end of it, they're like, let's go home. Like, I'm like, mission accomplished.
Yeah, no, and that's so good. Yeah, it's so good for them and for you, right? Tired kids at bedtime is a blessing.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Cool. So, board games, yard games. So should we get into video games? Because this is a hot topic. What do you think about video games?
I think they're evil.
There we go. No,
I'm just kidding.
What do you actually think about video games?
I kind of categorize video games in 2 different categories.
Okay.
Not really content so much, but the way it's designed. So
yeah,
I categorize old video games, like the ones we grew up on, like old Nintendo games, Mario Kart, racing each other, that kind of thing. That's all one thing. And then I think modern video games, like individual Call of Duty, where you're online connected with other strangers playing, is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of the first one. I'm not a big fan of the second one.
Yeah.
So as far as throwing out terms and definitions, I wouldn't just say video games are all good or all bad, obviously. But I also say, what are you talking about when you're saying video games?
Yeah.
So if we're talking about individual online, hours by yourself playing with strangers, I'm not super big on that. Well, for my kids anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dude, even as just a side note, as a cop, I dealt with so many cases of these 13-year-old girls going to random guys' houses to meet them.
Yeah.
These adult creepy men.
Yep.
Because they met them in a video game.
Oh yeah.
On the internet, and you're like, dude, okay, this guy needs to die. So there's a lot of just safety cautions on that, but also just the development of a child and playing with other kids. Mario Kart is a visual version of, like a screen version of a lot of the games they play anyway.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out the best way to defeat each other.
Right.
Whereas individual ones is kind of I'm a little less excited about for my kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I like your take on that. I have a whole sermon I could preach on this, and I don't know how far I want to go into it right now, but I feel very similarly. I think video games tend to get overly I think video games get overly demonized in certain circles, and I think they get overly accepted in more circles.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would just say, I think I would just really lobby for like parental discretion should be, I think, like as a general statement, parental discretion should be way more involved.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of parents either grew up playing the types of games we play. They either didn't play at all, or they don't know what it is at all, or they grew up playing what you're talking about, like older video games. And I think there's a lack of awareness of the changing landscape of video games in modern times.
Yeah.
right?
I think they're equating the two, which is not
Right. It's just a totally different animal now. And so I would just throw out either to any young men listening or to fathers who have young boys, like it's foolish to oversimplify a category as broad as video games, like because that's like it's an entire medium. It's like saying books, right? Like you're like, okay, are books good or bad? You're like, dude, there's really evil books, and there's the Bible, and there's everything in between, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just a medium. It's all it is.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of, you want to be aware of content, but even content, I feel like is more obvious. What I think people should be more aware of is the structure of them. Because like you're saying, 4 kids on a couch playing Mario Kart is a pretty awesome, innocuous, fun time.
Interactive.
It's
and
like,
fun.
they're shouting at each other, having a blast. Like and it's a lot of, problem solving, eye-hand coordination, whatever. The merits are, similar to a board game.
Yeah.
Whereas you take a kid in his room alone, talking to goodness knows who on the internet, doing goodness knows what, and you're going, this is a whole different thing. So online gaming has completely changed the landscape. I would never let my kids like engage in that period.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you're playing with people you don't know that you can communicate with at all, like no, there's no freaking way. You're letting them go into like the mall and just talk to random people,
right.
Like and predators and everything else. And there's a ton of that going on right now, and a lot of it's being exposed, and I'm really grateful for that. But like there's people that are full on grooming kids. They're
constantly.
They're going in these games built for kids that it's mostly kids playing, and they'll go in there and they'll connect with them and whatever, and then they'll draw them out in the real world, or they'll draw them out other places online and exploit them for all sorts of horrible things. And so that's one thing. But then there's also just the very nature of that. It breeds toward loneliness because it gives the illusion of connection with people. It's endless. It's endless, and like you play a round of Mario Kart, like you could play like 2-3 rounds and you're done. It's really clear. You're kind of, it's like it has a limited engagement. Whereas these other things, like it's whole worlds, that you're living in, and you can have this little alternate reality life, and it's this whole thing. So
we talked a lot about it, but the whole dopamine addiction, like they're so well designed now. They're intentionally addicting you to something.
That's right.
Addicting you.
Yeah, 100%. And then so there's that whole risk, and then on top of that, you have this whole thing of these free to play games or mobile games on phones, which is a whole nother thing. And I'm a huge lobbyist for like no phone games. Period.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a game that's designed to be addictive with you at all times. Like nobody needs that, man. And most of them, especially if they're free to play, which is attractive to a lot of kids and whatever, or parents, because they're like, well, it's free and you can play it. Great. They all have in-app purchases. These are the games, these free-to-play games are the ones that you're going to end up spending thousands of dollars on because they're designed that way, because they, in order to progress, you're basically paying to progress instead of playing to progress.
You're buying a virtual golden gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for
you're,
$50.
You're buying a stupid Easter bunny skin for your character for $20 real. And then so there's the social pressure element of I got to have these cool things because all my friends are doing this. And then you have the false sense of progression, which is a huge thing that these people building these games know what they're doing. They give you it's like, oh, I just got to get this one more thing. I just got to do this one more thing. I got to level up. I got to da-da-da-da. And they get it really, really, they've gotten really good at it to the point where it's robbing young men at large of their sense of progression in real life. And it's giving them this false satisfaction to the point where like they feel accomplished.
Oh yeah.
When they're done, that's messed up. Like you shouldn't feel like you did a day's work when you played 8 hours.
Well, they feel somewhat accomplished, but they have to keep going.
Well, they have to keep going, and they don't actually. It's not deeply satisfying, but it gives them the illusion and the dopamine hits that they should be getting from going and building and living and working and having real interactions with real people. So
it's the ultimate like way to raise a pure materialist.
Yeah.
It's like you can just buy your way into anything, and you will always be successful and happy if you just throw money at it, and you don't have to actually work for anything. You just have to go and this magic money that comes from, I guess, mom and dad's bank account.
Yeah,
will just keep you going.
Yeah.
Like, and you end up being a total stunted,
Oh yeah, well it causes all kinds of problems, and then there's tons of them that are basically not even basically they're literally just gambling apps to the point where a lot of them what you're paying for isn't even a fake thing. It's a chance at getting a fake thing. So
you pay for like
you pay for increased odds opening the chest that gives you the reward.
so you don't even necessarily get the
No,
reward. So you could pay like $20 and be like,
Yes.
you didn't get it this time.
Yes, it's literally gambling, and only difference is if you win, you don't win money back. You win the fake thing. Yeah, it's like truly messed up. It's the worst deal possible on the
that's
planet.
so sad,
It's
man.
like you're paying real money for sure to get a chance at a fake thing. It's the worst.
That's
dude.
so much worse because
Yeah.
it just messes with that in like that part of your brain.
That's what I'm
where it's
saying.
not even like, because it's bad enough. Okay, yeah, if you spend $20 every 4 hours in this game, you get to fight the bigger bad guys or whatever.
yeah.
It's not even that. It's just you might be able to. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
it's
dude.
messed. Well, but you get a whole different dopamine hit because it's like gambling. It's like that's why people get addicted to gambling. It's that I might win impulse thing. It gives you this little hit, and so it's really messed up. So games have gotten really dark and really weird and really messed up. And so anyway, those are some warnings I think on there. I think parents should be, if you're going to let your kid play video games, you better freaking know what they're playing.
Yeah.
You better understand the structure of it, not just the content of it, but the structure of it, because these games are getting structured in a way that are extra addictive and extra messed up and will suck your kids into them and will put them at risk for all sorts of weird predators and at worst, and then but even at best, like you're for sure hanging out with a bunch of other people that spend all their time on this thing, and it's like, is that who you want your kids spending all their time with? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So yeah, huge warnings on all of that. That being said, I grew up playing video games. I do like video games. I've enjoyed them plenty. I'm not a full staunch video game like hater in that sense, but it just comes with a ton of warnings, and I think there are games that are absolutely fun to play, especially, and the big thing there is couch co-op games. Like if you're in the same room with a friend playing a game that's challenging and fun, and you're talking and interacting in real life, it's very similar to a board game, and it can be a great time. You know?
That sounds like it might be fun.
I think we should maybe try it someday.
We should. Never done that before.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. So anyway,
Well, and then you brought up the I think it was a great example or analogy of it being like books. It's like, dude, that's a medium.
right.
So you can't just decry all books, but you also can't celebrate all books.
Yeah, that's right.
And content wise, like parents should really know the content of what their
yeah.
kids are playing. Like,
Yeah.
like just because it's cartoony, like Ratchet and Clank or one of those, even like the older games are like, wow, this is full of like super inappropriate
Yeah.
jokes and
Yeah.
like all sorts of stuff I don't want my kids pondering. Like,
Right.
so just just like with anything
Yeah.
that your kids are interested in, just know what they're interested in.
Totally.
you know?
And I'll just throw out there too, like if it sounds intimidating to know everything they're doing with this stuff, or if it sounds overwhelming, then err on the side of just don't freaking do it. Like
Yeah.
if you're not gonna police it, if you're not gonna be super aware of it, I spent probably arguably too much time growing up playing video games. And so like I have just awareness from that I can't help that I have.
Right.
So to me, it's pretty easy, and I'm not saying that's a good thing necessarily, but it is. So with that, it's like, if you're someone who's never played or who only played way back in the day, and you're approaching this and you're like, okay, I have to like really monitor what my kids are doing on here, and like I don't have time to like screen all this stuff.
Right.
Then, dude, you may be a great candidate for just cutting it out entirely. Like it's
it
not worth
couldn't hurt. Yeah.
it's not worth it. Like if you're gonna err on a side, just don't do it. If you are someone who's like, I know my way around this video game world, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you're, on it, and you're aware, or maybe even want to play with your kids, like, great, whatever. I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy your life. Like, that's one thing. But I just, I have a lot of red flags on it.
Yeah. But with anything, moderation is key. Like,
Yeah,
and
if you're gonna do it.
Like with video games, it's not like just because we have an N64 and we play Smash Bros.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun,
The
dude.
game's so fun.
It's so fun. But even that, I still view it a little bit differently than like a board. Like if the kids want to play
is.
chess all day, I'll be like, yeah, play chess.
Yeah,
That's great.
totally.
But if they're like, I
That's
want to
fair.
play video games all day, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
We have rules. So we have a reading program in our little society that's
Yeah.
like, hey, you can bank your hours of reading. And you get I think it's a 50% return on video game time.
Oh, nice.
So if you read for 2 hours, you can play for an hour of video
cool.
games, and
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal.
it is. Yeah. But it gives them something to work towards not just because there is a lot of dopamine and a lot of fun in video games. And I think it's great. And it's, all the stuff we talked about, but I also think, okay, I'm not just going to have my kids be constantly in front of a screen.
Oh, for sure. And that's what for how we do it. We typically just store anything that has video games, and we'll break it out, and it's like an event, and I'm usually involved because it's fun.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a we're
smart.
doing it together. It's like a
I guess all that to say, I wouldn't equate them with board games.
No,
like I'd say there's a lot of similarities and a lot of good things, but
even those,
it still is a different animal altogether.
It's sure. I totally acknowledge that, and that's a good. Thanks for bringing that up because I don't want to be misconstrued as saying like it's just like a board game. I'm saying it's similar, especially if you're like and when I'm saying that, I'm talking about in the context of I'm with them or they're all three together, or typically I'm with them. It's kind of that thing of like where I'm playing with them. It's like in that context specifically, it does feel very board game like. If it's just them playing by themselves or indefinitely, like they will go way longer than they would with a board game.
Right.
And it is still definitely more addictive, and screens just are like, they're just more stimulating. So yes, completely acknowledge that. That's a good point. Yeah. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Good job. All right. So we did that video game thing.
We talked a lot about games.
I think so. I know we're doing a great job.
Is that what we're talking about today?
I think that's the game we're playing.
All right, that was a good intro.
That was the pre-established social contract that we had.
You're right.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? What else can we say about games? I don't know.
Games are great.
Games are great. I think
we talked. You mentioned the Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about games. The whole 20% victory rate you have to maintain for your opponent, at least a 20% victory rate for their end, or they lose all interest.
Yeah.
Right. They did. And it's funny because they get all these like, oh, well, this is what nature shows us. If you take lab rats and they're playing a game, the bigger rat naturally lets the smaller rat win the wrestling match every once in a while so that the smaller rat wants to keep. And I think it's cool to see some parallels. I don't necessarily, we're not animals. And so
I'm not a big rat. I'm not like, I don't identify as a rat.
I don't either, man.
Per se.
I don't even have whiskers anymore.
Nice.
But I will say there is definitely something to that though, where you don't give out participation trophies. That's horrible because that just teaches a very, very false worldview.
Totally.
But also, I just wanted to touch on, you were talking about the handicap thing. I think that's a great idea for parents to implement, especially if they're wanting to play more games with their kids. Like, do something like that. Don't just fudge it and like, wow, I can't believe you got that. Like, that's crazy.
Kids are smart, man.
Or like, I think that insults their intelligence, and it also takes away the satisfaction of actually accomplishing victory.
Yeah.
That's why I highly recommend cribbage, actually.
Okay.
Because it is a very skill-based game. Like, you have to really know how to read what your opponent's going to do.
Yeah.
But it's also the chance element of whatever cards you get.
Sure.
So there are some times when Henry, like I'm better at cribbage than Henry because I've been playing all my life.
Allegedly. He did just beat. I mean, you said the only story you've told is that he beat you. So.
He did. Yeah. I won't tell you all the times that I crushed him. No, but generally speaking, I win because it's.
I believe you.
But I don't like fudge it. But there'll be things where I'll be like, hey man, I noticed you picked those cards for your hand. That wasn't a good idea. Yeah. You should do this next time, and encourage them in ways to actually like get better at playing against you.
Totally.
Like rather than just like, oh, those are the rules and you made a bad choice. Oh, bummer, I win. Like, like even if they're not winning, but you're giving them tips and tricks along the way to help them become better, they're going to feel the drive to keep going rather than just like every time you play with them, they just get crushed, And, and I even encourage Henry with his younger sisters playing cribbage because I'm like, dude, I know that you're faster at math and you're better at figuring out what they're going to play. Mm-hmm. Teach them what you know that you've learned from me so that they want to keep going with you. And they do. They like love playing with them even though he usually wins. Like,
no, that's really good. And that's where, because the handicap can take a lot of different forms. Like you can get creative with that. Mm-hmm. Like with chess, I always play my best at chess.
Yeah. How do you handicap that?
Yeah. It's similar to what you just said, which is I coach I basically
Oh,
coach.
okay. Yeah.
So when I'm playing with them, it's kind of like a chess lesson, but they're mostly playing themselves, and I'll let them make a lot of bad moves. Like I'm not gonna sit there and hyperactively critique everything they're doing. And to be honest, like I'm not the best at chess. Like I don't definitively know how
better than
bad
me.
their moves are every time either.
Right,
you know?
right.
Like so it's like, you know, I'm not some high level chess guy, but I've played enough to where what I will do is if they're gonna blunder like really bad, like if before they do something that's obviously really bad, I will catch them sometimes and basically just be, you know, so there's
Just,
kind
hey,
of a
think that
coaching
through.
element of,
Think about-
slow
yeah.
down. Yeah. Well, before you do that, look at the board one more time. And if
Yeah.
they're not getting it, sometimes I will point it out. It depends on how old they are. Nightly, I just kind of tell them to look at it again.
But you're not telling them, hey, do this so
No.
that you can get me. You're saying, hey, look at what might
Yeah.
happen if you do
right,
that.
Yeah. Like don't like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Move that piece back. Look at it
Think
again.
it through, and then-
this is-
yeah.
So it's kind of a heads up to him of like, hey, I'm doing something really bad. I should probably pay attention. And then he'll usually catch it and be like, oh, yeah, thanks. My
Yeah,
bad. You know,
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So like I'm about to take his queen, or he's setting up an obvious checkmate or whatever. But I so like they haven't ever beat me in chess, and I'm not like letting them win, right?
My man.
Hey, you know, hey, what can I say? But they love playing with me, and they'll like ask me to play.
Yeah.
And I'm very, I mean, genuinely complimentary of their skills because I'm very impressed with their skills. So
Yeah.
like it's you know, it's a very positive experience for them. And so it's, you know, so that's part of it, is just keeping the environment where it's like I am gonna try, and they like that I'm playing, because I think that's another thing is like as they get closer and closer to beating me, like as they get more and more competitive, like they do feel a sense of progress,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
because it's kind of like, oh, I'm like getting,
Because there is progress.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, oh man, I'm getting better at chess. I want to play you again. Like I want
And
to try. Again.
that's the thing where if you know, it's that golden mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
where if you're either always, oh, you won, look at that, you got my queen, I just
Right.
put her right there for no
Yeah.
reason.
Whoopsie daisy.
Or if you're just like, bam, like I got your queen every time.
Right.
Either way, there's no balance, and so they're not going to progress. But I think the progressing, whether they're winning or not, the fact that they're moving forward in a skill set is the thing that satisfies them. It's not so much the victory as it is the getting closer to attaining victory every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would throw out, I just thought of something. Another thing is, especially for fathers, is like rough and tumble play, or whatever you want to call it, horse play. Well, I don't know, whatever.
Horse play.
Sure, okay.
Rough housing.
Rough housing. Yeah, rough housing. I think that's a super overlooked and super important thing for fathers to do with their kids.
Extremely,
Is wrestle them. You know, like, you know, tickle them, throw them around,
Yep.
let them try and ride on your back and throw them off and whatever. And it is fun. I will just say, like, especially because if you haven't done wrestling or jiu-jitsu or that kind of a sport or that kind of thing, I know it can feel unnatural for a lot of guys because they're like, what are
just
we doing here?
Flopping around.
I'm supposed to like push you. Like, what do I do? And so it can be kind of intimidating. I think I would just throw out there, coming up with specific games that are rough housing is a good way to get into it, and then it can kind of get more freestyle.
Yeah.
So like, you know, simple thing of like, you know, you're a horsey and you're trying to buck them off or whatever, and
Yeah.
you know, obviously try to make sure they don't totally eat it, but you know, totally eat it unless there's mats, and then they can.
Yeah.
But having that, you know, something specific, right? Like, and there's actually, so I don't know if you guys have access to. There's actually Gracie University has their bully proof program, and I highly recommend that because it's like basic level jiu-jitsu skills, but it's designed for a father or a parent to do with their kids, and so it's designed for a big person to do with a little person, and they're the first 10 things before they get into actual practical jiu-jitsu skills is just games. It's called Gracie games, and they're all fantastic, and they're a really good way to break into it if you're not sure what to do. You're like, roughhouse with my kids, I don't want to hurt them, and I don't know what I'm doing. So if you're in that place, or even if you're not and you just want cool things to do, that's a really cool resource. It's not that expensive, but the Gracie Bully Proof program, Gracie University,
Bully proof, right?
Bully proof, bully, like a bully. Bully proof.
Bully.
But yeah, it's worth it to me just for those first 10 Gracie games, because they're really good ideas for just how to get roughhousing with your kids and playing, because that's super good for a lot of reasons that I think are good reasons.
I like that sentence.
Thank you.
Another a really good thing that it teaches too is just toughness, especially with the boys specifically. It's like, it's the whole thing. If you've never been punched in the face,
Yeah.
it's like it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I don't know what, like, and Hollywood portrays getting punched in the face like you just got freaking in a car accident.
There's a lot of one-hit knockouts.
And then when you get hit in the face for the first time, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that kind of hurt.
yeah,
It's
well, it
like
depends on who's hitting you, partly.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not talking like a full on haymaker, but like if someone, like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
just reach across and punch me right now, it'd be like, ow, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I got punched in the face. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
And kids, especially, they see getting punched in the face or something like that as like, oh, it's devastating. And it's
Right.
like, if you roughhouse with them enough,
Yeah, not that
you're not
you're
actually
punching
punching
them
them
in
in
the
the face,
face, yeah.
right? But if you roughhouse them enough and they get knocked around enough, they're gonna eventually be like, oh, I can handle myself.
Yeah.
And then they're not so intimidated when they're dealing with rough kids at the playground or whatever.
it's
They're
huge.
like, okay, like I'm not just gonna buckle and cry every time something kind of hurts. Like,
Well, and kids are always looking for cues of like how big of a deal is it that this thing just happened to me,
Yeah.
right? And you can see it all the time with toddlers, where it's like they'll fall down and like look at their parents, and if their parents are like, "Oh, poor
Yep.
baby," they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, it's a big deal." And if you're kind of like, "Oh, that was a bummer, get up,"
yeah,
like
we typically will clap,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
kids will just be like, yeah, I did something awesome by falling off the trampoline.
nice. There you go. Now they're gonna try and get hurt on purpose.
Like
Good job.
Well, makes them tough.
Yeah. No, so that's huge, and it also helps them understand what's appropriate and what's not, and like what's actually painful, and like there's also kind of rules within the rough play category that are good to learn too, of like, yeah, like don't poke someone in the eye, or like don't bite, or like, like there's all these kind of boundaries there that are like reasonable. And then so they're learning that, and they're also learning like what hurts them, so they know what would hurt somebody else.
Yep.
And they're learning what doesn't hurt and what's okay. And so like I can have, like, Knightley can wrestle with his two sisters that are significantly smaller than him because he's huge, and they can wrestle for like an hour and nobody gets hurt, which is a big deal. But that's because he's done it, like, because he knows like what would hurt them and what wouldn't, and he's being careful with them. They're totally getting after it and having a blast, but he's
If you don't, like, one of the scariest things is fighting someone who doesn't have any concept.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, well, I guess it doesn't really apply in law enforcement because if you're fighting someone, they're actually trying to hurt you,
Right.
like, all the time.
Yeah.
But like when I roll with you,
Yeah.
it never hurts. I mean, it's like, you get
Thanks.
sore, like it's like,
Yeah.
ow, like, but you know the limits. You're
Yeah.
not going to snap my arm off, because if I'm too stupid to tap out, you're going to be like, dude, I'm going to break your arm. Like,
Sure.
but then like years ago when somebody came to one of our fight nights and didn't know anything about fighting and just jumped on top of me and broke my foot because he had no clue what he was doing. And it was like, wow, that was totally not at all what we're doing here. And it's like, so there is a lot of confidence that comes from knowing how far to push things.
Yeah.
Not just how far you can get pushed, but how far you can push other people. It's like that actually, that's a healthy skill set.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. And yeah, no, it's funny. That's what I've always said is like, dude, I would rather do jiu-jitsu with any black belt in the world than do it with a very, very strong athletic white belt.
Yeah.
Like strong athletic white belts are the worst.
Yeah.
Because you'll beat them, but you're going to get
hurt in the process.
You're going to get smashed in the process. It's obnoxious, Like, it's like I'll win, but I'm gonna not have a fun time. It's gonna be miserable. Whereas with a black belt, I'll lose every time, but I'll think it was a lovely experience until I almost
gentle
passed
loss.
out.
Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, it's like rough plays another good
Rough play. I'm glad
category.
you brought that up. I can't believe we almost skipped it.
Well, it just came to me.
Yeah.
Don't know what to tell you. Well, cool. Well, yep, good. All right, man.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I think I ran out of stuff. That was good.
Hopefully
we got
was
some
fun.
good game recommendations out there.
Yeah, we threw out some game
mentality
recommendations, ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are just our thoughts, obviously, on how we parent our kids. But
Yeah, it's good. But I think it's helpful stuff. I got some stuff from you that was helpful.
And likewise.
Great.
Always.
Well, lovely. Well, get out there and play games with your kids, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the moral of the story, and make it difficult and rewarding.
Yep, and don't sell it out just to make your kids feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I guess the game is afoot.
For all that and all that, it's coming, yeah.